LOL. Well, it says we're live.
It lies. All right, let's see here. If you'd like to keep the heat running, ish, donate here. All donations are gratefully accepted.
Until this afternoon, which it'll be the air conditioner.
Air conditioner. Let's see here. If you like coffee, and who doesn't? If you don't, what's wrong with you? Talk to these guys. Let them know you heard about it from us, and do remember that we did a coffee anthology with them. So if you could support them by also buying the anthology, it'd be much appreciated.
And number 2 anthology is open and ready for submissions.
Oh, and the second coffee anthology is open and ready to accept submissions. She likes smart-ass t-shirts, and honestly, who doesn't? tinyurl.com, Among the Leaves tees. Smart-ass t-shirts to your heart's content.
And the chat is on a roll already.
That's nothing new.
I don't think they come here for you guys.
No, I don't either.
We're just noise in the background.
Yeah. The health check. Just, at least they didn't say sanity check. Yeah.
Massive fails. Massive fails.
Yeah. How can you accidentally massively over caffeinate? That's not possible.
I deliberately over caffeinate. There's nothing accidentally about it.
And somebody is
It really wants your attention.
yeah, no
I was
shit.
gonna say, you should just say thank you to everybody who came to dinner on Saturday. That
Yes.
sure was fun. We
Yeah.
had a good time.
That was a blast. Everybody that came to dinner, thank y'all. The food was fantastic. Company was even better. Yeah, those are enjoyable.
Yeah,
Very
we
well
had
done.
35 folks show up.
Hey, Sanford.
It's a Sanford.
Contributed a number of different foods. We actually had a few folks tag teaming on food.
Oh, good.
Between the tagine that Jesse fixed and the hummus and pita bread that Cedar fixed.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Mikado does not have cancer.
Outstanding.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Does need a hip replacement. Oh, that's going to suck. Yeah.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be worse. Won't be at Pecan. Well, we'll remember him.
Healthy is better.
Yes.
See him again.
Yeah.
Healthy and walking, it will be better.
Larry, you and I both know both of those are just flat major fuck ups. There is no other way to say it.
I have a question.
42.
Oh no. Apparently, one of the LCS was on deployment, which I assume in the Navy means the same thing as the Army. They're out doing.
They were away. Yes.
They were out doing things.
Yes.
Probably where the Chinese were pretty close to and may have been interested in.
Yes.
And apparently, on this little crappy ship, the head enlisted person. I'm trying to find a word that conspired with the other senior listeds to get Starlink,
Yes.
hook up a Starlink system, denying access to the Starlink to lower enlisted
And officers.
so they could have the comfort of checking football scores.
Football scores, personal news, and family emails. Yes. In the meantime, pointing a link directly at where that ship was sitting at all times.
Yeah. So, and then, okay, when she gets busted, after apparently lying multiple times about which is a grave sin,
Yes.
it was suspected, asked, she lied about it multiple times. She gets court-martialed. She gets busted one rank from E8 to E7.
Should have been busted to E1.
Yeah.
With some time visiting the folks in Kansas.
Yeah. One grade?
Yeah.
I did not realize that you could only get busted one grade in a commercial.
Yeah, it has happened. Rick, the issue is, yes, she did violate OPSEC by using it because Starlink does give a lat long location back from the.
Apparently, I'm given to understand that ships underway go internet silent for a reason.
Depends on where they are, but yes, they do go what's called MCON. uh,
So it's a as Jim has pointed out, it's a small crew.
Yeah.
You cannot keep secrets in small crews. So apparently the lower enlisted knew about this. So morale's in the crapper. Electronic security is in the crapper. She's lying like a shag carpet to her
CO.
CO to the brass.
and to her subordinates, which is the reason why the EMs were. If she had shared it with all the EMs, it would have been. They wouldn't have been complaining about it to the CO.
Yeah.
So she crapped on lower. She crapped on higher. She violated some. Granted, I'm not in the current military.
Yeah.
Having a big flashing signal saying, "Here we are, look at us." When I was in was a big fat no.
Yep.
And she gets busted one rank. One.
You'd have gotten busted when I was in. You'd have gotten busted more than that for what they would have generally called conduct unbecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ignoring what she did wrong, the conduct unbecoming would have been at least a couple, 3 grades.
Well, RK is right. She got minimal punishment because they're scared of properly punishing a woman, and she was technically a woman of color because she was Hispanic. So, this day and age, that's the crap that goes on.
Oh, she was a DEI hire.
Yeah.
So,
And she was an Intel spec, so
Yeah. Apparently, she was an Intel weenie.
How can you then?
so the
I'm not even asking.
So an Intel weenie that focuses on this sort of thing to find the other guys.
Rick, the surveillance satellites are only as good as the particular route they're flying. And you and I both know there's a big friggin' ocean out there.
Well, not only that.
And also, I got to agree with Larry. You know, put a radar reflectors on them, or put the can on the back in the box, and let them flash like a carrier, so they'll be a better bullet sponge and
It's
missile sponge.
It's just that I'm given to understand the LCS. One of the traits of the LCS is the fact that they are dialed in electronically with every other ship in their battle group, right?
Not necessarily.
But they can be.
They can be.
So there's this great huge pipe going in from Starlink that the Chinese can tap into.
No.
Okay.
Starlink is a restricted bandwidth.
Okay.
The Navy uses satellite technology also.
All right.
There are specific ways that they do that to link everybody in the battle group, as long as they're not in MCON. If they go into MCON, everybody goes radio silent.
Right.
So that means you have no communication other than uniform or Victor inside the battle group at X range. Now, what stuff like Starlink does, and yes, the Navy does have internet on board ships now. They use that off a sideband on the satellite. Just go search for.
Hang on.
Okay, Ian's going to pull it up.
Let's see.
Yeah, Sir Brass, if you really believe it's a secure connection, we need to have a chat. Because there ain't shit on the internet that is secure.
You could be sure, absolutely positive, that whatever you put out there is going someplace you don't want it.
Yeah.
Look up
It's secure that
USS
way.
Manchester.
Yeah.
It's Navy Times. How I love the title. How Navy chiefs conspired. I love the word conspired to get themselves illegal warship Wi-Fi.
You have to understand that military times, Army, Navy, Marine Corps times hate the military.
Always
USS
have.
Manchester.
Yeah. They're just like Texas Monthly.
But I will say that while they hate the military, they're usually accurate with their accusations.
Yeah.
I love the word conspired because that's
Yeah. Ooh.
that leads to stuff like other phrases like unindicted co-conspirators.
Yeah. Well, and take what Larry was talking about with LCS and the Zumwalt. Ford just came back finally off deployment, 9-month initial deployment. She's going to be out for a year doing upgraded maintenance, which is why the TR, the Roosevelt, got pulled from 7th Fleet into 5th Fleet. And she's already on her 7th month of deployment. And we have no carriers in Westpac. We have no carriers available anywhere to push forward. We used to have 15 carriers. And then the peace dividend kicked in. Oh, we don't need 15. We only need 13. Oh, we only need 11.
Well, do we really need more than 4?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm aware. I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a congressman. Well, we need one in the Atlantic, one in the Pacific, and one down in the South someplace, and
Yeah.
that gives us a spare.
Yeah.
I'm certain there's a congressman saying that someplace.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Probably senator too. Texas Monthly Magazine. For those of you who don't know, Texas Monthly has a hard on for Law Dog because I got a case of the ass at him. I happily refer to as Texas Monthly Magazine is the magazine about Texas written by people who hate Texas. I did a study one time that really frosted their chestnuts. When I went back, I went to the library, got 2 years, and I marked out on a map where every article was. And in that 2-year period, and this would be back 2008 or 9, maybe
Mhm.
2010, in that period, they had no articles that were any further than 10 miles away from an interstate.
And how far from Austin?
Exactly.
Austin and Dallas and Houston. RK, yeah, that's a good point. The Texas Monthly writers are better than the Military Times writers, yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Royal Navy is down to less than 20 warships total.
Yeah,
And they're running into the same problem with maintenance. Bush just came out after a 5-year maintenance period. It's only supposed to be 1 year. So they're saying that the Ford will be out in 2025. I would bet she will not get underway again until 2027 at the earliest.
I actually made a just beautiful little map. I took the state of Texas interstate, and then I put a 10-mile or 20-mile wide stripe along each internet.
Yeah.
Then I erased everything else. I sent it to Texas Monthly and said, "This is not Texas."
I remember you sending me that.
They were pissed. Ooh, they
Oh.
hated my guts there for a while. Yeah.
Texas version of the Atlantic. Yeah, that's a good point,
The
Sean.
magazine about Texas, written by people who hate Texas.
Well, they probably live in Houston, Dallas, and Austin,
Austin.
and therefore,
They're out of Austin. Well, Austin or Manhattan. There for a long time, they were actually based out of Manhattan.
as
But-
in New York.
But it's like 10 or 12 years ago, somebody in Austin bought them. But they quite happily hire. If the hiring process is they prick your finger. If you don't bleed blue, they don't hire you.
Are you saying that it's the place where Californians get jobs after they come to Texas?
It's exactly like I said. That was 2 years. Every story was within 10 miles of interstate or Austin.
Yeah, Graybeard, that's a good point. Royal Navy is now admitting they could not prosecute their war against Falklands.
Oh, ouch.
Well, I mean, the classic Brit example, they did away with the Nimrod. They decided not to continue the Nimrods, which was their ASW platform. That was a political decision. The military was going, we're going to go back to needing an ASW platform. So what they did was start sending people to the U.S. to train with U.S. counterparts.
Mhm.
And the term that they used was called seed corn. So we go through about 8 years of no ASW platform in the Royal Navy or the Royal Air Force. All of a sudden, when the Astute comes out and they get hammered by the Soviet submarines, all of the British politicians go,
Oh,
we need something now.
why isn't the military protecting us?
So they cobbled a bill together to buy three P8s, which is now, I think, up to 12 or 15. And they're going, well, we don't have anybody to fly them. And the RAF went, excuse us, but yes, we do. So the first 3 airplanes got accepted, had full up qualified crews, courtesy of VX1 and U.S. Navy. They're now integrating back into the Royal Air Force. The same thing is happening. Yeah, yeah, it's a good point, Larry. Ships do not make great ASW platforms. Aircraft and submarines do much better to handle that problem. Surface ships are still targets.
One thing I'm looking at, everybody knows the Chinese Navy sucks and they haven't been able to get a functional aircraft carrier going.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the Russian Navy sucks and they haven't been able to get a functional aircraft carrier going.
No, that's not true. They actually did.
They haven't been able to maintain it.
Yeah.
I love the Russian Black Sea submarine fleet.
But
Yeah.
thing about it is they've got these things.
Yeah.
And everybody knows they suck. The only thing about it is the Western nations' navies are starting to suck just as bad.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well,
Scary.
and I know Larry's worked with this in the past too, what they call SNIFL, Standing Naval Forces Land. Each one of the NATO allies was supposed to supply X number of ships and or aircraft and or helicopters for X period to support SNIFL. And the command of SNIFL rotated between Brits, Germans, French, and U.S. I don't think Portuguese, but they, yeah, Tom, Russian Black Sea submarine fleet is repurposed cruisers.
Yep.
These days,
Also,
and actually 1 kilo.
I'm all in favor of the Russian Black Sea reef building process.
Yeah, but what they did is SNIFL now is to the point that if they have enough ships, they can get underway maybe 2 or 3 days a month, if that.
Well,
If they have enough
all
ships.
those European countries have these massive social safety nets that they have to pay for, and
Yeah.
that military budget, the U.S. is out there, so we can use the military budget to pay for social
Yeah.
bullshit. And then
New African imports.
Yeah, Tom, NATO should have been disbanded in 94. Failing that, we should reciprocate with what we spend to what each European nation spends.
one of the things that is very misunderstood during the Trump administration, the media and the Democrats were great for pounding on him about his treatment of NATO allies.
Yeah. See you next week, James.
And the ill treatment that he was doing was forcing them to actually pony up what's required under treaty. So many of the vast majority of them did not ever pay what was required by treaty, and we let it slide.
Yeah.
Well, it's like how many countries over there still owe us for Lend-Lease from World War II?
Oh yeah,
Well,
The
correction,
Brits paid it off.
They probably mostly been forgiven over the past.
The Brits
Yeah.
paid it off, but that's. I love the fact that if the last I saw, the last NATO spending chart I saw, the the former Soviet Socialist republics that have joined NATO were the only ones paying in excess of or paying what they're owed, and most of them were paying in excess.
Yeah.
Poland coughs up money to NATO.
Well, it's like, take the money, please.
Little
In
European,
the middle of all of it.
little European Texas knows which side of the toast it's butter. The butter
Yeah.
is.
yeah. That's a good point, Tom. 1987 NATO versus 2014, they weren't paying then, except for the Brits.
No, they never
They
have.
never have. Yeah. Yeah, Larry. Submarines are not impacted by the weather as long as they stay below 200 feet. Oddly enough, talking to some submariners and having been on one, it was granted a 637 that we surfaced in some pretty bad weather. And at 100 feet, that thing started rolling.
In the meta, don't do that.
Yeah. But the thing about ASW is ASW has always been a 4-layer, 3-dimensional bubble. So your near field is the ship's sonar, the submarine sonar. That's good out for, let's just say a number, 30,000 yards. Okay. So 30,000 yards is your nominal close-in bubble. In that 30,000 yards, you can prosecute via ship, via helicopter. Used to be able to prosecute via S3 or via P3 or P8. Outside of that 30,000 yards, now you get into helicopter range, either active or passive. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, 45-degree rolls in 6 to 88. No, that's getting pretty close to rolling over and going to the bottom. By the way, submarines do not have a door on the bottom of their ballast tanks. So if they roll too far, they cannot recover. They have a grate. They do not have doors.
That seems a less than optimal configuration.
They should never roll that far.
If they're rolling that far, they have other issues.
Yeah.
And if they put a door on it, then you would have to try and maintain it, which trying to maintain something remote operated underwater.
Yeah. It's
in
already a
that
big enough
environment.
problem with maintaining the
Great.
the top.
Yeah.
So outside of that, you now
Not
get
Navy.
into the helicopters being your primary asset, either passive or active. Dippers or 60 Romeos. We used to have the S3s off the carrier, which did ASW. Not perfectly, but they did it. And that was that filled in the middle of that ASW sphere. Then the outer range of the sphere was a P3, P8. And that could extend out to 200 miles plus. And yeah, Rick, that is the problem with active sonar. If you ping it, it's just like shining a light on yourself. What are you doing?
Look at the center of my hand.
Okay.
See the line?
Yeah.
Is that a light artifact?
Yeah, probably.
Probably off the front door.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
off the front door.
Oh, it's the probably
Sorry, I'm parked there.
That's
That's
all
me.
your fault, Jim. Yeah, put the curtain up. So
I'll take the hit for that.
can't park in front
Yes, dear.
when you're doing
I forgot.
Yep.
We'll blame Jim whether it's true or not.
Yeah, I'm hiding over here in the corner, so he can't get me. But that was the bubble that we did ASW in, and it went out 200 plus miles. It was fairly effective. The problem was when the S3 went away, we were down short of P3s because of the peace dividend and getting rid of squadrons, and the fact that we had airframe problems because thousands upon thousands of hours of rigid wing down low in turbulence tends to tear up airplanes. So every P3 had to have a wingback replacement, among other things. At one point, we were down to less than 40 flyable P3s in the entire Navy. Got that back up, finally got the P8s. P8s are high altitude, not low altitude. So now, effectively, what we have is an outer screen and an inner screen and nothing in the middle. So the ships do have technologies that allow them to, shall we say, mimic other things. Satellites, yeah, satellites can spot ships at sea, but the average satellite passes about every 90 minutes. And it's not over the same spot unless they maneuver the satellite, which it only has X amount of fuel on board.
Basically, they're peeling an apple, and if you aren't in the next strip, then you aren't seen.
Raptor,
Like your mom, they don't have eyes in the back of their head. So.
the simple answer to that is money. The least capable airframe, but it does have capability in each one of those fields. So that's why it got picked, because it is semi-capable in all three fields. Just like the F-35 doesn't do anything excellent, does some things average. We used to have the F4s, A7s, A6s, went up to the F-14s. Different mission, different airframe.
Mm-hmm.
Those aircraft were excellent at what they did. They weren't good at anything else, but they were excellent at what they did.
Which is pretty much that's military equipment in a nutshell.
No, that's not just military equipment. That's all equipment.
Yeah.
If you go out and buy a rifle to shoot deer, it's a lousy bear rifle, or it's too much for a deer rifle, and it's certainly not a good home defense weapon.
What's the old saying? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
If you have an aircraft that's a jack of all trades, it doesn't master any of them.
Yeah, but that's what you end up with is now these combination assets. And this is a Gen 5 fighter. It does everything. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything well.
But it can pitch head anywhere.
Yeah. It's like, buying the ships. Zumwalt being the classic example. Zumwalt was going to be a test class. And they started loading shit on that boat. Oh, here's a new technology. Put it on the boat. Here's another technology. Put it on the boat. Here's another. They put so much technology on those ships, they became unaffordable. A. B. They became unworkable. And C. There are still questions of whether that boat is survivable because of its hull shape in a trailing quartering sea.
And something else I'll add in, without having studied Zumwalt at all, is a maintenance guy who gets too much stuff thrown at him. Can work on some. He can work on all of it, but he ain't very good at it.
Yeah.
New equipment, it takes a while to get familiar with its quirks, and every piece of equipment has quirks.
Now, Robert, that's true. It can get killed in any role. Raptor, the railguns actually work. The problem with a railgun is the cost and the amount of power it takes to power that sucker. They work. I've seen them work.
Cavalry, I like my dirt.
Yeah.
Cavalry, they ride around in moving foxholes that attract the eye.
Yeah.
Yes, but if something goes wrong, I can get out of it and walk home.
Yeah.
It's that thing. It's like,
Rick,
I like the cavalry. They draw the fire, so I don't get it.
Oh yeah,
Rick has an excellent point. LA class nuclear power plant, one automated system, period. One. LCS, 90% of the boats automated. They've cut the crew. The original crew complement was supposed to be 47. That was supposed to be the entire crew of the ship to do everything. That isn't even enough people to stay and watch, much less do damage control.
and then some numbnuts decided this 90% automated ship hooked into Starlink.
Well, it was Vern Clark's toy because he wanted to make a name for himself as CNO. He did. Not a good one, but he made his name for himself.
On
They-
to other things.
I think the Navy should hire Musk to build ships. So, because they get done.
Well, Musk is a lot like Henry Kaiser. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be pretty, but by God, it will work.
It will work and it
Yeah.
will get done.
Yeah.
What an idea. On time.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Didn't he just punt somebody up past the Van Allen aviation belts?
Yeah.
And he had
On
not,
a polar orbit, no less. That's why they launched at 5-something this morning.
and
Good
appa-
morning for space travel.
and apparently has put up his timeline for making it to Mars.
Yeah.
He wants to go home. That's
Yeah.
all I can tell you.
Right? Exactly.
He's trying to get home.
Yeah, Rick, that's another excellent point. The sole reason for automation on the 688 was because the human being cannot sit and stare at a gauge for 8 hours at a time and be anywhere close to coherent, much less focused in on it.
That's why you have warning lights, etc., and you keep track of all of them, but you don't concentrate on any of them.
Polaris Dawn, yes, that's what launched this morning.
God bless him. That man wants to go home.
Raptor F-18 is just that. It was a political SOP, multi-mission role, partially capable aircraft. Likes the range.
On Mars, but not on landing.
Yeah.
So,
It lacks the range of the Tomcat. It's not as quick as the Tomcat. It's not as good as the Avenger, the Corsair, or the Prowler. It can't physically carry the stuff that an A6 EA6B could carry.
I saw two articles in some major newspaper. And the first article was how bad Twitter was failing, losing money, was a terrible boondoggle, and Elon Musk's great disappointment or failure was buying Twitter so it could fail. The very next article said that Elon Musk was on track to become the world's first trillionaire.
Yeah.
Guys, the man is one bad day away from being a Bond villain. Will y'all shut the hell up?
Yes.
One bad day away from being a Bond villain.
What I don't understand is why Boeing didn't contract with SpaceX to get those.
Well, they have. They just have to wait.
No, they didn't. They didn't do it by choice. NASA
No,
directed.
Nope. But they're
Oh, Alan, you're right. I'm sorry. You're correct. I'm wrong. This was the Van Allen belt. No polar this flight. Yeah. You're correct. I'm wrong. Sorry. Thank you.
so as soon as that man buys an island with a volcano on it, I'm going to yell, "I told you so!" Leave him alone.
It won't be a problem. At some point in the not too distant future, you will hear from his direction, EM, phone home.
Yeah, Sean, that's also a dirty little secret in the community. Violated the consolidated designation standards created in the early 60s.
There was a
Musk would be way more competent than a Bond villain. Yes.
I'm here to tell you, I don't know why everybody hasn't taken a roll call of the people that irritate Musk, see which one's missing,
Yeah.
and inquire as to the contents of the trunk in that car he launched to Mars. I'm telling you, there was somebody in the trunk. Somebody pissed him off and was in the trunk.
No, Rick. Larry Ellison is not a Bond victim. Not a Bond
Villain?
villain. He's having too much fun playing with boats. That's why he bought the island in Hawaii.
I do not believe that Musk got rid of any of his enemies by putting them in the trunk of a car. Simple fact of the matter is, it's a lot more fun to watch them squirm when he succeeds than they fail.
Well, there's that.
Jim, I can't say I disagree with you. He's a Martian trying to go home.
He's trying to go home.
Yeah.
He's been trying to go home since. Anyway, no, it's the that man. He's on track to be the world's first trillionaire.
Yeah.
Or D.D. Harriman.
I think he's
Oh.
well on track for the D.D. Harriman part.
Differs. Really?
What?
7-year-old has decided he's forgotten the alphabet. I think your child is playing you.
Yeah,
Well, not the first time.
because he's 7. That's normal.
So apparently, there's a speaking of Elon Musk and the Simpsons. I was going to say something about a Simpsons episode, but I forgot which one. Springfield, Ohio, is having a bad time right now.
Yeah.
Springfield, Ohio, I believe population was 20,000.
Yeah.
Well, 30,000, and then they imported, it was 50,000, and they imported 20,000 patients.
Yeah, the federal government, bless their hearts, bless their little pea-picking hearts, imported about 50% of the population of Springfield, Ohio, in Haitian immigrants.
Yeah.
And they're getting all the services that in the locals aren't anymore.
Haiti is a failure.
Yeah.
It is a failure culturally. It is a failure politically. It is
It's
a
been a
failure.
failure for 50 years.
It's been a failure since the French took over, and probably before that.
Half the island is perfect and fine and doing great, and the other half is
Haiti.
trashy.
It's
Yeah.
Haiti.
It's Haiti. So
And apparently, the Haitian immigrants, if the reports are to be believed, and we know about reports, but if the reports are to be believed, the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, are being Haitians. Rita was all up in arms because stories out of Springfield crossed her the transom this morning. And my little sweetie has views.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot part of those views is don't touch her dogs. Do not touch her dogs. Just don't. Apparently,
they're depopulating the geese and duck population.
apparently,
Okay, so they're doing some good.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, apparently they are rampaging through the duck population, the geese population, and the local cat and dog population.
I said some good, not all good.
So they've taken over for the Vietnamese.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's video of one of them doing a cat in at the end of the driveway.
Hanging in the tree and spinning it.
Well, this one whacks grabs a cat, swings it, smacks its head on the ground, and skins it right there in the driveway where the cat belongs.
Yeah.
Damn sure didn't have an Owl Park, Texas, because she'd be reloading.
This is, as Kermit said earlier in the chat, the bunch that's taken over Aurora just took over a hotel in El Paso, the Venezuelan gang.
Oh boy,
So
that's not going to go well at
Yeah.
all.
here again, what we're seeing is the administration bringing these people in, basically giving them a free ride.
Concentrating them someplace where they can outnumber people.
Yes.
Well, also, this particular town was like 80% Republican.
Yeah.
And guess who's going to suddenly become citizens and be able to vote?
Yeah.
Well, Obama did the same thing to Amarillo.
Yeah.
Amarillo was reliably Republican, reliably conservative for decades. The Amarillo Independent School District now has to have 60-something language translators on staff. 60 different languages, according to Alma Boykin. Burmese. They were loading up Burmese from the jungles of Burma and kicking them off the high plains desert. What the hell?
Yeah.
Somalis got stupid up there with the meat packing.
Yeah.
Afghans, it's white bread Amarillo, Texas, wound up requiring 60 different languages to be translated in the school system.
So how much are they able to teach those kids
Not
if
enough.
they don't even speak the language?
Not enough.
Yeah.
Jim was mentioning earlier that the geese and duck population. I don't care about these geese and ducks. Y'all may remember the story about Owl Park being a bird sanctuary, and Gordon Lake is right by Jim's house.
Yep.
And Gordon Lake is getting again overflowing with geese.
Yeah.
Holy crap, a lot of geese. Well, Jim and I were going somewhere, and we went to McDonald's, and we were eating our on the road meal at the park at Gordon Lake next to a friend of ours in his squad car, in his squad marked unit in
Yeah.
uniform doing paperwork. And across the lake, we see a white van.
Yeah.
White van. It's one of those that should have had free candy on the side.
Yeah.
White van pulls across the lake and parks there, and the geese are being geese. And the sliding door opens up. This axe handle comes out. Whack! Hits a goose, snatches the goose in, takes off. And we look over and we say, hey, isn't it unlawful to take birds in Owl Park since it's a bird sanctuary? He said, shut the hell up. You didn't see anything, and I didn't either.
Yeah. And I saw that van a couple other times
Oh, yeah.
on my side of the lake. Pull into the parking area. The door come open. A hand come out and a goose disappear and
Snatch
the
a goose
van
in.
leave.
That's an old boy with a family to feed.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess they should put pictures up for the patients saying you feed the geese, but not the ducks and the cats and dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave it. This is America. And this was one of the side effects of going from a melting pot to the buffet.
Yeah.
The grand culture of the U.S., we are very fond of our cats and dogs. We don't eat them. They're not food. For a large part, my lady included, they are, for those of us who cannot have children, they are children.
Yeah.
Don't touch the cats and the dogs.
We went to lunch a couple of weeks ago at, well, that was last week, shit, at the local Mexican restaurant. And it turned out a number of our game wardens were in town
Oh, yeah.
The whole place was full.
having lunch. So they are basically taking a frustration break and lunch. So as we're leaving, our local guy calls me over and goes, "What's the young lady carrying?" Uh-huh.
Which,
Oh, it was Lisa.
Jen or Lisa?
Yeah. She had her t-shirt had pulled just wrong, so she might have profiled slightly.
Was it Lisa or Jen?
Was it?
Lisa. I didn't know Lisa was carrying. I
Yeah.
must have missed that.
She carries every day.
I must have missed that.
He says, "Yeah, it's a P365." He goes, "Nice choice. See you later." And the rest of the table's kind of looking at him and looking at me, looking at him, looking at me. So you two know each other? Yeah.
No, if you're a lady in the U.S., if you are the female persuasion and you are legally allowed to, you need to be carrying. Things is getting interesting, and not in a good way. They're getting interesting in the Chinese sense, and it
Yeah.
sucks. I've lived in interesting times since I was born. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I'd like to live in non-interesting times for a while.
Well, I'm being very positive in my construction of capes for
Yes,
Higgins Fair.
yes,
Yeah.
she is.
I'm going to be in San Francisco right after the election. I'm making a lot of black capes.
And
just-
beautiful ones
Well,
too.
yeah, but I'm also thinking, a lot of people, I hopefully in San Francisco will be in mourning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's if there was
Kermit, when the game warden stops at your house to show off his new guns.
What was it? He had an AR that was 458 SOCOM.
Yeah, 458 SOCOM AR.
Yeah, he had an AR in 458 SOCOM because he's getting tired of being treated by hogs. He had to stop by and show us his.
Yeah, and he was getting ready to head down to the border to work. So he had a spare shotgun in the truck too.
Yeah, Tyler needs to be careful.
That boy ain't right.
He also needs to be careful.
Yeah.
There was. I have odd friends. I have a wide diversity of friends. And the ones that aren't science fiction are very tactical in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got Kelly-
Supposed to, you know.
Kelly McCann and Craig Douglas and Chris Seipert.
Yeah.
Good friends. They decent human beings. Well, all three of them came up with a video, and we're pretty sure this is in England. And there is a gentleman of Middle Eastern descent, let's say military age Middle Eastern male, going down a sidewalk, and obviously not a Middle Eastern place, and he is slapping every woman he sees. He's just going down, and if they don't have their hair covered, he's slapping them. And the very last one is on her phone, and she is target locked. She got target fixation on her phone. He runs up and clotheslines the shit out of her. She damn near does a full loop-the-loop. This was in either the UK or the US. Guys, please be careful. Situational awareness is a thing.
Yeah.
Get off of the electronic leash. If you are of the distaff persuasion and you're on a public street, get out of your phone.
Yep.
I got so mad. I got so mad watching this. I watched it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And there are ladies, they're sitting there or they're walking. He is slapping the crap out of them. And then the very last one, very, very elegant young lady, is on her phone. And I don't know if she sees what's happening and is trying to ignore it. He took a run and clotheslined the shit out of her. Get out of your phone.
What you're also not seeing is the guys who are doing that on the street, the men are taking those guys down and beating the living shit out of them.
Not this one.
Yeah. There also been guy was doing that on the bus. He was like yelling at women, and the guys on the bus just all stood up and just threw him out the door.
Good.
They're tired of it, and they're not going to let the police aren't going to do anything.
No, they're not.
So the men are going, "We're done with your shit. Knock it off." So
Oh,
Well, the one good video I've seen out of England lately was the young punk in Liverpool in the park.
yeah,
bad place to be a punk.
And he's trying, I'll fight anybody. I'll fight anybody.
okay.
And the old bald-headed guy that walked up to him and said, "Come on." And it took one swing, and that was it. It was lights out. The guy was a retired professional boxer.
Good.
Knocked his ass out cold. And looked at his buddies and went, "Anybody else? Anybody else?"
What I'm seeing over the last year is a huge uptick in on Facebook anyway on European stick fighting clubs, and the Vigny K method is making a comeback, and I'm thrilled, but also kind of sad.
Yeah.
I would love to see Pierre Vigny's cane techniques come back into favor. I really would. I just hate that it's for this reason. If you can't carry a gun, get yourself a walking stick and a can and some pepper spray. If you're gonna get pepper spray, you want Saber Red or POM Industries, Palm Industries. Get those two if you're allowed to. If you're in a communist state where they regulate the percentage of
Capsaicin.
capsaicin in your pepper spray, get the hell out.
Yeah. The other thing Pepper spray has a time's out.
Oh, it
It's
has an
not-
expiration date.
It's not good forever. It has an expiration date. So
Bartitsu.
yeah, make sure you pay attention to your expiration dates.
The Vigny method of cane is an integral part of Bartitsu.
Yeah.
So there you go. There are several Bartitsu and Vigny method on Facebook now, so you can search for that if you want
Yeah.
to.
Eskrima is another one. Yeah, that's
Thing about
Filipinos.
Eskrima is doesn't translate well to cane length sticks. It relies on speed, and the cane length sticks aren't quite that fast. There's a Japanese, Korean and Japanese have cane length fighting styles.
Yeah, kendo.
Hanbo,
Yeah.
is canes.
Yeah.
I think it's Hanbo, but don't quote me on that. Cane Masters is a style that's based on Korean Hapkido, and they're not bad. They
Yeah.
really aren't. Any stick training is better than none.
Even plain old riot baton.
Tom, we have a friend that makes some pretty good hair sticks for ladies.
Yes. Bjorn Blade Works.
Yeah.
Hair stabbies.
Hairborne defenses.
Hairborne defenses. Thank
Yeah.
you. Hairborne. Somebody asked me to do something. Spell that stick name for us, Ian. Which stick name? Vigny? VIG. Victor India Golf November Yankee Vigny. Pierre Vigny was the guy that designed it. And it's designed for walking sticks. It's designed for the style of
Yeah.
walking sticks that European gentlemen carried at the time.
Joe Stick. Thanks, Mike.
Joe, okay. And then I've put up a couple videos on, or at least one video on police right, the 36-inch right stick, which translates to a cane rather well. Simple, easy, simple. Right now, to the best of my knowledge, there are no laws in the U.S. against carrying a walking stick or a cane.
There are against carrying a sword cane.
Yeah, sword cane is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Don't.
Not only that, most of them are cheap shit.
Everyone,
I've got one and it sucks.
there's if you have to get a sword cane and they're legal, Burger sword canes out of South Africa makes the only decent one I know of. There are others that probably might, but experienced Burger sword canes out of South Africa is the only sword cane that I would trust. But don't get a sword cane. Just get a decent stick. Get a decent cane. Apparently, TSA wouldn't let Tom Romney through. I've never had a problem. When I'm tired, I limp, so I don't have an issue. As bad as my limp is, I don't have an issue getting through TSA with a cane. Watching that video of that young lady, and as I said, this guy, he took a 5 or 6 step running start and then just went right through her neck with his forearm, and she damn near did a full loop-the-loop. I don't want to depopulate half the state looking for that fucker if he does it to Rita.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on a rampage because somebody does that to one of my friends. So get your goddamn noses out of your phones. Get some pepper spray if you're allowed to. Get a stick.
And if for some reason you cannot carry a cane, if you get a piece of dowel rod about 2 inches wider than your fist, sharpen the ends of it and carry that with you. That works really well as a good way to punch somebody, and you can hit them with the side of the fist with that sticking out, and it works quite well.
Capo sticks, Kubatons. What I used to refer to as palm sticks are great too. Check your local laws.
Also, don't plan on ever trying to fly with them.
No.
Put them in your luggage, maybe.
The thing about carrying a cane is it has to look like it functions as a cane.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks that say, I've got this wood waster, which is a training sword,
Yeah.
that I'll carry. I'm trained with it. It looks like a fucking sword. You cannot pass that off as a cane, guys.
Yeah.
And if you got the old-fashioned cattle cane, you have the advantage of having a hook
Yeah.
at the end of it that you can grab with.
It's just, I'm just,
Not that I carry a cattle cane or anything.
don't walk around downtown Nashville with a cold steel trading gladius stick out of a backpack. No.
Yeah, Tom,
No.
that made for some interesting looks.
In Texas, blackjacks and saps are legal. And blackjacks, saps, and truncheons make a great adjunct to pepper spray. I've mentioned here, and I'll mention it again. Pepper spray is not the be all end all. If you hit somebody with spicy treats, understand if he is a critter with a long-term stays in some sort of correctional facility,
Yeah.
either county or state, he will probably be able to fight through pepper spray. If you dose somebody, don't expect him to go down.
Yeah.
So if I have to dose somebody, I've got a load in my right hand in case he goes, oh, bitch, and steps through it. I give him a good firm smack with a sap, and he fucks off.
Every useful roll of quarters or nickels. Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
We used to roll up dimes and put them in our neckerchief when we went on Liberty as in Navy enlisteds. That's about as good as a piece of soap and a sock if you get right down to it.
And also, if you're going to carry a weapon of any kind, starting your cane, pepper spray, as soon as you buy your first can of pepper spray, go talk to a lawyer. Get a lawyer's card.
Yeah.
And ask him, tell him what you're doing so he'll know. Because if you wind up smacking Abdul Amadi Rabid a couple of times with your lock in a sock, you're going to want to talk to a lawyer. Have one already primed, okay?
And if you can carry a gun, carry a gun.
Yes.
But a gun is not a hammer.
Yeah, it's not a talisman.
Yeah.
That one jackass, wherever it was, got in a fatal case of road rage and runs up on a car and beats on the window with the gun and then takes the gun by the slide down by his side and is shocked when the guy inside ventilates him.
Yeah.
It's not a talisman. Don't go stupid places and do stupid things with stupid people.
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't be stupid.
Yeah, well,
John Farnham's rules. Don't go stupid places and do stupid things.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
And make sure to lawyer up immediately upon using any of these things.
talk to your lawyer. Your lawyer may tell you different depending on the area you're in. Like I said, as soon as you grab a weapon, go see a lawyer.
Yeah.
Get his card. Put it in your wallet. His or her card. Because it's better to have him already ready, him or her. And, hey, here's my lawyer. I need to call my lawyer. And you go, okay.
And
Don't talk to the police.
a lot of us are older.
Be quiet.
There was a time when I was been willing to stack up against just about any critter out there and figure no problem.
Yeah.
As long as it's only one, it's no problem. I'm no better nowadays.
Yeah.
I am not what I was 20 years ago. And most y'all are in the same shape I'm in.
I've
Yeah.
got a. And Chris Seipert, bless his heart, if you get Shooting Illustrated, Chris has a fantastic article in there about why carry gun rotation is dumb, and it is. I've been yelling this for a long time. Stop rotating carry pieces. There are
done it for 50 years.
you don't rotate it stupid. You don't go from a Glock to a Colt Python to a 1911 daily.
No.
Well, he's talking about the folks that go, carry a 1911 on Monday, a Colt Python on Tuesday, and a Glock on Wednesday
Why?
because it's cool.
Okay, number one, if I'm carrying on Monday, doesn't matter what I'm carrying on Monday, you're not going to know it, so it isn't all
Yeah.
that cool. And if I'm carrying on Tuesday,
Yeah.
same thing or something else, you're not going to know it, so it ain't cool.
These things had a multitude of sense.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And when the manure hits the rotating oscillating vector cooling unit, you don't want to have to decide mid gunfight how to operate your gun.
Yeah. Or where the
Or
how
where
many
you're
rounds in
carrying
a
it,
magazine.
or where you're carrying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives them another excuse to buy another pistol or three. Yeah, that's true too. Anyway, folks, on a positive note, there are books coming out.
Yes, there are.
Not this week.
Oh, something I'd like to. Okay, just because we've released a book every week for the last 3 weeks, we're not going to continue doing that crap. Holy gods. No, back to 2 weeks. Now, releasing one every 2 weeks is crazy enough. The last 3 weeks was insane.
You're up to 18 this year.
If you have a Western story, cattlemen, cowboys, we need it for the library anthology. Send it to me at oldnfo.gmail.com.
Mike brings up a good point. Something I was going to rant about earlier.
Bah.
I have.
We're out of time. Save it.
Hang on.
Thursday.
It's real quick.
Because then we'll have a number. Let's do Thursday. Stay
You-
tuned for Thursday.
Somebody's going to have to remind me because I'll be pissed off about something else by Thursday.
Oh no, we'll have Nick having the rest of the way through the stories.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Very proctologist, yes.
Because I got
Cedar will remind you.
I got 2 things to. Yeah.
Anyway, folks, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Be safe
Y'all be
and
safe.
have a good week. Oh, and watch the debate tonight for a laugh, if nothing else.
I my
There's not
my
enough alcohol in the world for
Nope.
that.